Hi there. Over the last couple of days, I've gotten a question that really range from why do you use private money? You have your own, to why do you offer such what appears to be solid returns? So I thought I'd just put together this video and sort of address all of that and really talk about why an investor, or why do I choose to leverage capital from friends and family, and called sort of this private money thing. So I thought I'd talk about that. So I thought I would just share why I chose to leverage private money, even though, in theory I don't have to. So we'll go through that in detail. We'll talk about why I put together the program I did for my friends and family, and why it's put together on purpose the way it is. Talk about sort of what my goal is and why I might be different than some others. And then I'll talk about my new and improved goals for 2018. So first, why use private money? The short answer is, sure, I could do my own deals, my own capital. Given the deals I have found to date, I could have done the first 3 or 4 deals 100% on my own with no trouble. That that would be okay, but at some point that's only 3 or 4 deals, right? And the long answer is, I see a future when I look out that really would enable me to support a lot more transactions going at the same time if I was able to take this capital I have and be able to disperse it over more deals. You see, the flips that I'm securing, at least initially here, all have, I don't know if you want to call them challenges or extras on them. They're not just straight up, right? They're not empty houses, slap, paint on, got the kitchen, bath, whatever. I'm finding properties that have challenges, right? So I'm finding motivated sellers that have situations that in many cases take time and can be frustrating. So my flips, at least initially, probably have somewhere between 2 and 3 months after I own them that I can't do very much to them, right? The first one I got has squatters in the back, and if they choose to be, trouble, they could probably be there 3 months. And that's 3 months of, nothing, right? And still doing repairs and all things of that nature. The second one I have, same thing. And the third one actually has tenants in them, and their rent just happens to be really low. So I have to give them a 60-day notice, right? They're on month to month, and by law, you have to give them a 60-day notice to vacate. So, each of the properties I'm currently finding have their own challenges and have this delay factor, but that's totally okay. It's quite frankly the reason why I'm able to negotiate a price point that offers profit. So if the average flip's taken 6 to 8 months, I could do 3 to 4 deals on my own. I could be, in theory, out of acquisition mode very quickly, and quite frankly bored, and that's just not who I am, right? I'd like to create an assembly line where I have flips going at different stages, right? In theory, I could see a scenario where I have 10 to 12 flips all in progress at one time. I think that's the ultimate goal is, as 1 or 2 go off, they get sold, 2 or 3 more come on, and maybe one's a quick flip and takes 4 months, and maybe one's a frustrating flip and takes 9 months. It doesn't matter. If I can create an assembly line where there's multiple flips going on and I can manage them at different stages, I'm going to have a lot more fun, be a lot busier, and not bored. But second, I'll be able to create an assembly line where every 2 to 3 weeks, a property is sold and closed, and $25,000 shows up. If I can create a process where every 2 weeks, $25K shows up as profit, that's a great year. That's a $600,000 a year kind of story. So that's what I'm trying to build to, and that's why I've chose to use private money. Sure, I could do my own. Sure, I could take all the profit. But if I can leverage private money, and I can work with a select few individuals and create an assembly line of 10 to 12 deals running at the same time, I think it's going to be far more beneficial, obviously to myself, and I could obviously help people along the way. So why offer what I do? Sure, I could offer less, ask private investors to take more risks. Frankly, every private money person I've seen seems to almost it seems to ask the private investor to take a crazy amount of risk, and is comfortable not giving them just the base returns. I I don't want to do that when I work with my friends and family, quite frankly. Um, when you talk about risk, I don't. I never want to lose my own capital, right? But losing somebody else's capital would probably kill me at some level. That's why I've chosen to put in a scenario that provides so much protection. Could it happen? Absolutely, it could happen, right? It absolutely could, right? You never know. However, right, I'm buying assets at least 30% discount of after repair value. I'm assuming the first chunk of risk after that, in that I'm putting in all the make ready capital, right? So first $20,000 to $25,000 is all my risk before the private investor takes an ounce of risk. So could it happen? Sure. Do I see a scenario where it does? No, honestly. If you're really buying deals with the 30% discount to after repair value at least, and there's another tranche of security in that my dollars go out first, that's a pretty good thing, at least that I'm trying to put together. And then the return. So I've had a couple of friends, run the numbers on their own and call me up and go, hey, if you do this every 6 months, based on the numbers you've given me on the first couple, my annualized return's north of 20%, right? Even if it's just a couple of points below, that's, if it's 18 or 17, that's outstanding, especially given the small amount of risk that they're taking. So they're very happy, they're very excited, and could I offer less? Sure. Do I want to? No. My goal is to create that assembly line, and if I need to offer that kind of return to the friends and family to have them invest with me, and they all win, that's great. First and foremost, why? First, I like having a scenario where the investor takes a decent chunk, because it means that I'm not going to ever look at skinny deals, right? I'm not going to look and go, oh, you know what, that's a 12K or a 9K return. Why, it's quick. Why don't we just do it? Well, that's you don't do that, when you have a private investor and the returns that they're expecting, because I might do that if it was just my money, right? Oh, let's buy this house. They've listed it low. Just close it, put it back on the MLS for 15% profit, and take your 10 grand. No, you don't do that when you're leveraging private investors. And second, it's nice to be in a position where you can help your friends and family, earn a better return on their cash that they've worked hard to keep. And if they're going to help me invest in creating this machine or assembly line, I think they should be rewarded for that. So that's really why. So hopefully by now you've seen that my number one goal is to help as many people as I can. I want to create, hopefully a legacy that lives a lot longer than I do. That'd be fantastic. The other thing I've seen is a lot of full-time employees I work with just don't have those extra slivers of time to invest. They have not only a demanding job, they have family commitments, and they just have so much other stuff going on that they really are excited about just being the bank. They just want to be the lender, right? They don't want to hold rentals. They don't want to be a landlord. However, they realize that being an investor or the bank, especially in the program that I'm offering them, is exciting, and it's kind of fun to see. I created that acronym CRAP, Cash Rich Asset Poor, and that's really causing some of my friends and family to look at themselves and go, you know what? Why do I want to sit on, 100 grand or a couple hundred grand or whatever it is they have? And instead they go, well, you know what? If I can recycle the capital into this machine or this process that you're creating, and I get it back every 6, 8, 9 months, that's great. So it's helping them realize that sitting on a pile of cash may feel good, but it's not good in an inflationary environment and things of that nature. And then again, some other investors I have are taking the approach that I recommend of being cautious and sort of almost dollar cost averaging or getting in slowly. So, maybe they're in a situation where they have a decent pile and they're like, you know what, let's, over the next 6 months or so, why don't you help me buy one or two? Let me get my feet wet. Let's see what's going on. But also that means they have a lot of disposable cash that they could say, you know what, why don't you take half of this or potentially half, and why don't you invest it 6 to 8 months while I use the first half to invest? I think that's a great idea, right? Because if you can leverage that pile, that second pile, to be slightly bigger, when you're ready to use it, why not? I think that's a great idea. And one of my friends brought that up, and I'm like, well, shoot, I didn't think of that. That's a good idea. So this is my new and improved 2018 goals of 1,000, 110. I thought it was just intriguing to drop a zero and put a target there. So I live my life by goals. It's sort of what motivates me to keep taking step forwards and all of that. So I've tweaked or improved my first goal of 1,000. However, it all starts with 1,000. That's the same. That hasn't changed. I'm trying to help 1,000 people with real estate investing. So these 1,000 people come from really the website and YouTube channel and all of that. But I think it's time for me to ask for a favor. I've done 55 videos now. I would like each of you to take at least one video that you like and share it on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter, or whatever you can. I need to get more leverage. I need to take your network, and I'm sure each of you have, dozens, if not hundreds of folks that this will go to, and I appreciate it. But I suspect there's 2 or 3 inside each of your networks that will be interested in real estate investing. And if we can take this, first list of 55 subscribers and reach out to more folks, I would greatly appreciate it. The YouTube channel is up. It's one rental at a time. Please ask them to subscribe. And the website, should be up next week. We're constantly tweaking it, but I'm hoping to have that done very shortly. So please do me that favor. 100. So I've completed all the real estate classes. I've been fingerprinted. I'm going through background checks, all of that stuff right now to get scheduled for the real estate exam. So I'm in that kind of waiting period between, completing and being checked out. So I hope to have that done in the next couple of weeks so I can just get on with this. But what this 100 is I'd like to create a stable of 100 investors that ultimately I work with as their salesperson, and ultimately we'll be working together in my brokerage, that, I help buy, sell, exchange properties for the next 20 years, right? I have probably at this point half a dozen to a dozen folks that have voiced that they want to be a part of this, which is great. But I do want to share that my ultimate goal, I think any more than 100 might be difficult. But again, I want to create that personal one. And then when I have a brokerage, we'll obviously have buyer agents and all that stuff that will allow us to go much, much bigger. But I do want to have a goal and set that for myself. So that's interesting. And then 10. What I want to do there is really take this assembly line approach and create it where I have upwards of 10 flips going at one time. I'm really intrigued by the idea of ultimately having a flip spit out at the end of the process every 2 to 3 weeks. I think doing that not only provides a nice chunks of cash and a great living, but it also proves that the model works. And not only can I build a portfolio of long-term rentals, which I've already done, but I could create a second source of capital or chunks of capital via this flipping thing. So I think that 1,110 is interesting goals for 2018. So as always, please help me with this channel. I did ask you again, and I'll do it one more time, to take one of the 55 videos that are done to date, and please post that on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever you like. Just take a video that you happen to like. Maybe it's video number 1 talking about financial independence. Maybe it's one of the videos about, I don't know. Pick a video that you particularly liked and share it. Also, if you can, leave a comment and like the videos and give it a thumbs up, because it really does help the channel. Have a great day.